And getting lost on a trail can be terrifying and disorienting, especially for solo hikers, but it's also preventable in many cases with proper preparation. Whether you're going mountain biking, trail running, camping, you name it, all you need are the right tips, the right equipment, some really good advice to keep you safe. And so we want to start there tonight with Francis Tapon. He's a hiker. He's written several books on hiking in Europe, Africa, and in the U.S. And he's here tonight to tell us more about what we all need, whether we're novice at hiking or we're experienced and staying safe in the backcountry. Francis, thank you for your time. I'd like to start with just the dangers of the terrain, the elements, the weather, all of the things that make traveling out in the beautiful country that we have dangerous and risky at times.
Yeah, weather is probably the biggest factor. In fact, most problems just come from that. So before you go on any hike, definitely check the weather forecast and reconsider if it's going to be tough, because you can be a lousy hiker in great weather and you'll be fine. You can be a great hiker and strong hiker, but it's in very difficult weather, you could have some serious problems.
So talk to me a little bit about the rising water levels and the flash floods, particularly in an area like Grand Teton.
Well, there it's important because in June and May, there's a lot of snow melt coming on really strong. And as a result, the rivers start to swell quite a bit. And the currents can be deceptive. And once you step in, it's easy to get swept away. And you might think, oh, no, it's not that deep. And all of a sudden, whoop, it certainly is. And so that's one of the things that you have to be careful of. And also because it's May and June and it's fresh snow melt, it's very cold. And then it becomes harder to swim in really, really cold water. Your muscles just don't work the same way.
What is the biggest mistake that people, whether they're experienced or not, make when they head out into the wilderness on a hike and try to explore, camp, whatever it is they're trying to do?
Probably the biggest mistake that people make is that they just may not bring enough water, for example. That could be a simple thing because that's what kills a lot of people. And the other thing is hypothermia. A lot of people worry about bears and snakes and things like that killing. That's not what's going to kill you in almost any case. It's almost always hypothermia. In some cases, it could be dehydration. But those are the key things. So staying warm and staying hydrated is paramount.
And Francis, you have walked across America 4 times. You've hiked the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Coast. What other equipment in terms of technology and other survival gear should people be taking with them, whether they're going out for a day hike or they're going out for days and weeks at a time?
Well, it's going to be funny because I'll tell you something that I never actually did take, but nowadays I would actually recommend. When I did a lot of my hikes, I didn't have it. It's a cell phone. And the reason it's useful actually is that, one, it's got a light. So you automatically have a flashlight in case you need. You might be thinking you're only going out for the day, but it might be an overnight. Of course, it has a GPS inside, and of course, the ability to call. So those 3 things in a relatively compact package is actually surprisingly useful. The other thing is a space blanket, which is about the size that I'm holding up right now. Space blankets are very compact, very lightweight, and yet they'll keep you dry and warm at a very low penalty. So just put that in your pocket and that's going to give you some insurance, even if you think you're going on a day hike, because a lot of problems happen on day hikes because people don't have overnight gear. And so they out and get exposed and get lost.
Yeah, you take one wrong turn and then all of a sudden everything looks different. Really important advice, life-saving, essential equipment to take with you. Francis Tapon, thanks for sharing that insight with us tonight.
No problem.